Schools are a hotspot for leftists, no doubt about it. But what about the conservative minority? How do they fit into the grand scheme of things? How should conservatives behave and perform in schools on a social level? Should conservatives hide their identity or be proud of their political standing? When and who should they debate leftists? This is your host, Andrew, reporting for Rawka Media, and today we're diving in how to survive school as a conservative. Before I start, these ideas can apply to really anywhere. I try my best to, and it's done me well, so I pass it on to you. Now for some context, I'm a junior in high school, and my school is super political. I have a friend group that consists of mostly conservatives and centrists, and I also have some friends that are leftists. Now why in the world am I telling you this? It's quite simple. I'm exposed to wacky and semi-normal leftists daily. Therefore, I can pass my knowledge down to you who may not be exposed to a lot of leftists. Before I get deeper into this video, I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. Not every single leftist is a crazy feminazi who prays to Hillary Clinton. There are some who you can have a decent, civilized debate with. Those are the kinds of the people that I like to associate with, but I'll get into that later. So, first and foremost, if a liberal antagonizes you with ridiculous claims such as you're a racist, don't step into that trap. It's not going to end well for you. They love to use this claim to every single person who isn't a leftist. For example, I sit currently next to a stereotypical feminazi, and she calls me a racist a lot. But I can combat her claims by simply being nice to her. So, you see, she's from a South American origin, so every time she calls me a racist, I just ask her, why am I a racist, and help you when you ask me for help. It basically debunks her claim to the core, and she stopped using that rhetoric on me. Since we conservatives have such a negative connotation going around, we must be the utmost respectful and not fall into any traps to help reinforce those stereotypes. Of course, this can be thrown out of the window when the epitome of a Marxist-loving, Bernie-fapping liberal comes around with his anti-fascist rhetoric. Then it's time to go in, just haul their ass back to their master or mistress. You should always find a conservative group of people. They might be few, but there's always a couple in the bunch. When you have a group of people who have a similar mindset of yours, it helps you transition and stay in your new environment a lot easier. It also protects you from a lot of solicited hate from the crazy leftists, because they love to go in a wolf pack and just have a field day on lonely people. So, I was talking to another junior from another high school, and somehow we got into the topic of politics. I don't remember how. But anyway, back to the story. I had good faith in him, so I told him my views are conservative, so I closely align with the Republican Party. And what he said kind of astonished me. He then told me that if I said that at his school, I would have been stoned. It got me thinking, when should I disclose my political views? Though, you have to understand, sooner or later, people are going to find out your views. For example, I'm pretty sure my history teacher knows I'm a Republican, even though I've never told him. My question and comments in that class has basically told him where I stand on the spectrum. People don't know where I stand, and I'm fine with that. Now, this boils down to when should you or should you not disclose your political views? And no one can tell you. It's a case-by-case basis. A rule of thumb, though, is always be the respectful one. If you have the moral high ground, you can essentially beat every retarded argument liberals throw at you. These arguments could be you're racist, a sexist, homophobe, the list continues. Now, when and who should you debate someone? Simple. Pick your fights. Pick the reasonable bunch in the group, unless you want to say fuck it and dive into the belly of the beast. Also, choose a subject that you know best. You want to be Obi-Wan on Mustafar, and the person you're debating to be Anakin. Of course, this is an ideal situation, and usually not a real one. So, if someone makes an outrageous claim just to piss you off and you take the bait, then stay to what you know. Admit your ignorance on areas that you don't understand. It will not only throw them off guard, it will also be the best outcome. For example, I got into a debate about third wave feminism, and they started to whip out these claims that I had no clue about. And I told them I didn't know that, but I stuck to what I know. Of course, it might be a lost cause anyway, because I was talking to a brick wall essentially. But the bottom line is, pick your fights, don't fall for bait, and keep the moral high ground. Something I'm going to preach a lot. And have some leftist friends. Yes, their ideas flawed, and can be messed up. But you have to separate their merits from their political views. Something that the radicals on both left and right have trouble doing. Again, I have a good handful of leftist friends, but we always have a civilized debate, then resume to whatever we were doing. Those are the kind of people you would like to associate with. The truth is, you're gonna have to meet them no matter what. Just don't associate with the radicals, because the radicals need to rethink their life. So now I'm going to respond to the one comment that intrigued me from my last video. A user named Blur Dynamic said, "In the words of Paul Joseph Watson, we need Islam control, not gun control." This comment had me thinking for a day on how I'm going to respond it. Welp, here's my response. I like to think Islam is outdated, and it needs a new flavor. Like how Judaism has its orthodox, conservative view, and its more updated one, sorry, I don't know the name, and Christianity has its handful of branches. So, being optimistic here, hopefully the Islamic equivalent of Martin Luther comes around and slams his grievances on a door and makes a new flavor of it. Like something that sticks to the ideals of Islam, but it gets rid of, the whole killing part. Yeah, and we don't want the killing part, because if that doesn't happen, it's gonna die out. It's becoming quite obvious with the people who originally opened their arms to the idea Sweden aren't becoming happy with Islam. So if they want to save their religion, they need to make a new flavor that actually preaches peace, not slaughtering non-believers, not slaughtering gays, not stoning women because of the way they dress, and I might go off a tangent here, but not even just being a whole, that religion is basically what third wave feminism is talking about. It is a patriarchal religion. I'll make a video on that later, but anyway. So yes, I do agree with you. Islam is heavily flawed, extremely violent, and sometimes pedophilic. So, let's give them the chance to update it and make it work for the new age. I went off a tangent there, but hopefully that answer was sufficient. And if it isn't, respond. Let's continue this dialogue. Anyway, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed my video, and if you did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to see more of me and the other creators emerging from this channel. Have a good day, and this is your host, Andrew, signing off for Rawka Media.